Arkansas Razorbacks make their yearly pilgrimage to Central Arkansas. Simmons Bank Arena in North Little Rock, they welcome in the Bears from UCA. Hawks coming off their biggest win of the year Tuesday night in New York. Look for their 9th win of the season this afternoon. With Joe Klein, I'm Brett Dolan. Delighted to have you with us. And Joe, back on Tuesday, DJ Wagner was electric.
Yeah, Brett, he's a catalyst for this Arkansas Razorback team. If they're going to go anywhere, he's going to have to play like he did against Michigan on Tuesday. 16 points, 5 assists, made 7 consecutive shots, went on a 12-0 run by himself. Big part of Razorback success is on this guy's shoulders.
It was fun to watch for a guy who averages 34 minutes a contest to see that offensive game come along. And there's Coach Cal. He's coached in this building before. We'll explain it, chugging towards 850 wins at some point. And there's John Schulman, his first year as the head coach at UCA. And we're off and rolling. Our officials, Garrick Shannon, Michael Wallace, and Michael Swoboda. First game post-finals, and the one and only game here in North Little Rock. Adu draws the double. Brazil on the cuff, and he'll shoot a couple of free throws.
You're going to see early on, Brett, they really want to keep the ball out of the paint. They do a lot of switching, but anytime the ball goes into Adu, Brazil, especially the double team's going to come, and they're going to try to clog the paint. That time's a breakdown by UCA because they want the ball to be kicked to the 3, and they want to close out short to make Arkansas shoot the ball.
Yeah, size or lack thereof might be a big issue in this game as Brazil knocks down the free throw. Just to understand, these Bears are a little bit shorthanded from an injury standpoint, so they're going to have to be strategic in how they defend the Razorbacks.
Yeah, they got to try to take away the paint and hope that the Razorbacks struggle from behind the arc. And then another big part of that is, can you secure the rebound? Can you give them one shot? Are you going to be able to handle their pressure and not turn the ball over and let them get it going up and down this floor?
It's a UCA team 2-7 on the season. They average 72 points a game. They love to shoot the threes. And on cue, there's a long one from Faye Bimmy. There's just the speed from Fland and Wagner trying to create for the Razorbacks.
But you can see they are playing way, way off, these guys with the ball, and they're gonna be able to get some good looks on the catch and shoot. Can they get the ball into the paint on this possession? No, they can't.
How about an NBA 3, and that's a good start for Boogie Fland.
And I think that's like any team in Division I basketball. The 3 is such a huge part of the game. You make threes, it makes the whole game offensively so much easier, opens up the floor, makes things happen for you offensively.
Cato, after a pump fake, knocks down the long 2.
Really coming into his own this year offensively. He's been a good player for them, has a chance to really be a catalyst for this UCA team.
Jonas Adu with the basket. I know Arkansas really happy to see those minutes increasing for Jonas.
He is such a big key. I think the way he and Brazil played against Michigan on Tuesday night, being able to play 26 minutes and be physical is going to be a big thing to watch as they move forward into SEC play.
First couple of minutes here in North Little Rock. Inbounding is Fox. This UCA team lost to UAPB 84-78. They shot 41 threes in that game. And there's a block from Adu right before the shot clock expires, and it will be a shot clock violation.
They have, as you've noted over and over, the size difference is very, very big, and you can see it right here. Driving it and being able to get in the lane is one thing. Being able to finish against these long defenders of Arkansas is another.
There's just really no way to replicate that or practice that length.
But Coach Schulman really embraced the challenge because he said, we're not trying to win today. They want to win today, but their season, he kept harping on it in practice. It starts when A-Sun play starts.
Miss on the 3, Boogie Fland the rebound. Boogie hit an early three. That looks true out of his hands, but he misses. Brazil will clean up and follow it.
That's the problem UCA faces. They got the shot they wanted. They have to give up something, and they want to give up the three, but they got to get the rebound. Great job by Brazil attacking the glass.
Trevin maybe coming off his best game of the season against Michigan. As I say that, he fouls a three-point shooter in Elias Cato.
You touched on it, and we touched on it earlier. The thing that's kind of been missing from this Arkansas team early in the year is consistency from Adu and Brazil. A lot of that is because of injury. They have not been in the starting lineup. They have not been able to get any kind of rotation over and over again to get comfortable with their teammates, to get comfortable with how Cal wants to use them. And it's hurt Cal because he's trying to figure out who goes in when and who's available. If these guys can stay available for the next couple of games going into conference play, it's going to really help get everything a little bit, I guess, normal, or get into a groove, get comfortable with your roles and what they need to do.
It's going to change how teams have to prepare for the Razorbacks as well, with a couple of big guys, shot blockers, shot contesters.
And I think it puts Big Z in a role that he's more comfortable with, coming off the bench, and Cal can play him, and if he's playing good, roll with him.
There's DJ Wagner, continues his hot shooting off that game at Madison Square Garden. And by the way, maybe a little bit strange not to see Adu Thero in the game. He was under the weather Tuesday. He came to shoot yesterday with the mask on. He's feeling a little bit better, but Arkansas has either had some sickness or a few injuries, trying to get to full strength. Adu running the floor with the left hand. He'll score.
Boy, it's good to see him moving like that.
A chance to turn defense into offense. Wagner from one end to the other. How about the follow from Trevin Brazil?
And this is what Cal wants to do. He wants to play hard, tenacious defense. When you go to his practices over and over again, he's talking about defense. Why? Because he wants to get out in transition and play against an unset defense.
There's Lane Taylor, a kid from Farmington. We'll talk more about him, but normally a three-point shooter gets a lay-in, and the Bears needed that one.
Well, lock of communication on the back screen. Nice play by UCA. Gets a clean, good look.
Big Z, Carter Knox to check in at the next dead ball. Due for a media timeout as well. Adu draws the double, still able to score, and that's not a good sign for UCA, able to score with two defenders around him.
Yeah, when you have size differential, you got to really do a good job positioning yourself. UCA that time, they did not get around him, let him step right in front of the rim. Not going to work.
Boogie Flan with a deflection. Boogie Flan will hang and hit, no whistle. But Arkansas really with an electric start for a slow starting team.
Well, the pressure is really, really bothering these guards. Their active hands, the length, the athleticism. Tough job by UCA guards today.
Boogie just took that one away. And things rolling for the Razorbacks. UCA can't even wait for that first media timeout. They need a break.
Yeah, Brett, you're not going to be able to just pound this ball in front of these Arkansas guards. You better take care of it, because you come down and you get casual with the ball, you're going to see a lot of this afternoon. They're going to have to pass it, get it up the floor with the pass.
22 points for the Razorbacks, a 22-7 lead over UCA. Back in North Little Rock, I'm Brett Dolan. Joe Klein, delighted to have you with us. I know Arkansas has had some slow starts this year, Joe. Today is not one of them. They've made 9 field goals, and they've turned defense into offense.
Yeah, they're getting out. Their athleticism, their length is really, really showing against this UCA team, who's having a hard time getting the ball, getting into any kind of rhythm offensively. But again, that's a credit to the Arkansas defense. That's just how they want to play. They want to disrupt you, get out in the open floor.
And again, length might be an issue today for this Razorback team as they go up against a smaller UCA team. This is the first neutral site meeting, and these teams did meet at Bud Walton Arena back in December of 2021 when Stanley Amuda hit 17 points. Jalen Williams had 14 rebounds. But this is also the first time Arkansas has ever played an in-state team here in Little Rock. So I know Coach Schulman joked that maybe they should save Arkansas some gas money and go to Conway and play there. Maybe they could stop for a little dinner in Conway, but they're playing here in North Little Rock instead. He invited them to the Toad Suck Bucks. Playing them in Conway. But
he didn't invite me and you.
No, he did not.
What's up with that? I'll go. He knows I'll go.
Couple of male field goals, but no threes for the Bears. Turner going to work, and Big Z just stuffed him. Taken right back by Faye Bimmy. Lane Taylor wanted that shot, but Big Z was standing in his way at 7-2.
That dark, Brett. That real dark.
Coach Cal imploring Nellie Davis, the official. Just grabbed him and pulled Coach Cal back. That's a hoist from Cato and a miss on the three, and Big Z will clear.
You can see those guards are penetrating and getting into that lane, but that length is a little bit intimidating. They're having to kick it out.
It's good to see Big Z back and healthy. I know he's dealt with an ankle injury. He told me right before the game he feels like he's in pretty good shape, but first Brazil had the ankle, then Big Z, then some sickness. If it hasn't been one thing, it's been another. But Trevin Brazil looking so good the other day and had pumped in an early 6 points before he misses that three. Really, for the Bears to hang around, they need to be able to knock down some threes, although that was an impressive drive from Cato past Ivisic.
Nice drive and good hesitation, a little jab fake to get him off balance a little bit. Nice left-hand finish.
What did you see out of the Razorbacks Tuesday night? I know you were on hand at Madison Square Garden, but obviously an impressive end of the first and the beginning of that second half.
Well, I like the response. I mean, they got down early, and Michigan was on a roll. They responded defensively and offensively. We were joking kind of after the game that they should get 2 wins for that. They lost it, they won it, they lost it, and they won it again. But they showed a great tenacity and kept their poise when things weren't going their way.
There's a three and a knockdown from Lane Taylor, a kid who scored nearly 3,400 points at Farmington High School. He's got some moxie to him.
Yeah, he plays with some definite moxie, and I'll tell you what, if you leave him open, it's going in.
Arkansas has not scored since that media timeout. Nellie Davis buries the triple.
Boy, you'd really like to see him get going. He's been real steady, but I don't think he's been the scorer that a lot of people were anticipating. He takes really good shots, but it's good to see that one go down.
There's times maybe he gets lost just a bit. Oh my goodness, Trevin Brazil just stuffed Lane Taylor, and it's going to send us to immediate timeout. The Razorbacks off to a good beginning over the Bears, a 13-point lead as we step aside from North Little Rock. Boogie Flan has been a consistent player this year, Joe, for the Razorbacks, and it's a little bit of everything when we get to witness his efforts.
He plays so much more mature and older than he is. I mean, he's a good defender. He's a good passer. He's a good shooter. He plays under control. He understands what's going on in the game and the flow of the game, and he does what's necessary to help his team win. That's something you see out of a junior or a senior. Usually freshmen want to come in and they want to force the issue and they want to score. He can score, but he never forces it. Just an unbelievably mature player and a great addition as a freshman for the Razorbacks.
He played in front of 100 family members and friends at Madison Square Garden. Obviously a kid from the Bronx going back home, and he went 14 minutes without a bucket, and he said getting out of my head helped. I mean, he even understands the game, I think, at an age far beyond his 18 years on the planet.
Yeah, you don't hear that from a lot of 18-year-olds.
Taylor just had a three-pointer block, so I think that might be in the back of his mind. He shoots over Big Z, and Fland even gets the rebound. Boy, Billy Richmond in the game, he took a shot. You know, Cal said about Boogie in that UTSA game, Joe, he did not play well in the first half against the Roadrunners, and he said he's got to play well for us to win. He doesn't have to play out of his mind, but he's got to defend. He's got to play with energy because he's got such a spirit about him.
Absolutely, and the team follows his lead. When he's pushing it and playing well, it seems the guys fall in behind him.
That's 9 early points for Boogie Flan. And for a notoriously slow-starting Arkansas team, they've come out of the gates firing today. Faye Bimming. There's a nice cut to the rim by Cole McCormick, a kid who signed with D2 Huntsville with Coach Schulman, but came to UCA and gets a basket.
With just a nice little slip on the ball screen and a good find.
Wagner, a runner won't fall, and the rebound to a Vagaru. When this UCA team played at Utah early in the year, the two teams combined to go 30 of 90 from three-point land. Utah shot 50, UCA shot 40. It shows you how much the Bears like the threes. If I would ask you how many games you played in your career where there were 90 combined threes, I think I know the answer.
Be zero.
Zero.
We might not get 90 combined threes in a week.
90 in a game. They made one, and I think even Arkansas's length has disrupted some of their three-point shots.
Well, they're looking at the rim, but I promise you with their peripheral vision, they see him coming, and that's not good when you're shooting the ball.
And I got to believe it takes one block before you are aware of that for the rest of the game. Arkansas shooting 69% from the field. Boogie Flan with 9 points on the drive. A lot of contact. No whistle. And the Bears come back with numbers. There's Taylor, open look. Can't hit the three, and it's out of bounds to Arkansas.
You see UCA, good job defensively, staying in front, walling him off, getting the rebound. And they have, you sit here and you think, UCA's got to slow this game. For them to get the ball in transition, those are good, clean looks that they're probably only going to be able to get if they push the ball and get it up the floor before Arkansas can sit down in front of them defensively.
No, it's a great point. They are 2-7. Coach Schulman feels like they've had some winnable games, just maybe not old enough or deep enough to finish them off. I know his fear was playing Arkansas. You don't want to get buried early. You want to find a way to hang around.
Absolutely. And confidence, as you know, Brett, is sometimes almost every bit of as important as talent. And this team in UCA is a little bit lacking in confidence, but they play hard, man.
They sure do. Coach Schulman asked for their energy, their intensity. He's been able to get that. Trying to hang around till they get a few of these players healthy again. Rebound tracked down by Faye Bimming. Taylor will control. 5 points for Lane Taylor, the freshman.
You can see they're going to try to drive in there and draw Arkansas, and then he wants them to play off of 2 feet and pivot and start looking to spray the ball so they can get some open looks from the three.
Problem is with Trevin Brazil lurking out there, there's even some size to contend with 20-some feet from the basket.
Yeah, the closeouts for Arkansas are a little bit different than the closeouts on a shooter for UCA.
In the A-Sun, yes. Carter knocks in for the Razorbacks. Boogie Flan will exit. .20 to shoot after that foul on Flan. On the drive. And the Bears still can't get that open look. There's Fox. He'll hit the three.
Again, Arkansas defensively has got to be alert when a guy drives in there. They can't turn. That time they got caught ball watching and lost Fox on the perimeter. Good shot.
Hey, the Bears trying to climb back into this one. Stopping another basket would continue that process.
And Brett, Arkansas has had a tendency this year to play really good and then have lapses. I think that's what, as Davis knocks down a shot from 3, what Cal wants to see now to end the half is, can you extend this league? Can you build it and don't let them hang around and get bored playing this game? build, build, build.
Carter Knox cut off the path of Evagaru. Cato, long three, left it short, rebound Adu. Knox, couple of big steps to the rim and a chance for a three-point play.
I love how Wagner pushes that ball because he got to that free throw line area and he saw the crowd in there and he started looking for somebody coming behind and finds Knox for a nice, easy layup and an and one.
Timeout on the floor. Carter Knox on the path to the rim, knocked it down. He'll shoot a free throw when you come back. It's a 15-point Razorback lead here in North Little Rock, and I think the Bears knew that this was going to be a tall task, but Colt Schumann is about, learning, improving, and he's watched his team compete against a superior Arkansas team, but I think there's a few aspects that he likes.
They've done a really good job with their spacing, as you can see here. They're spread out, they're slipping the screens, a nice drive by Cato, and then the drive and kick for the rhythm three by Fox. You got to be pleased with how they've spaced the floor, and they've started to play a little more under control. Obviously, to start the game, a little rattled, big moment for UCA, but again, they've calmed down a little bit and started playing much better offensively.
Between his years at Chattanooga and Division II Alabama Huntsville, in 14 seasons, he's been a part of 7 NCAA tournaments. And, he brings the right energy, the right thought process. There's been one winning season in 18 years at UCA since they have gone the Division I route. That attracted him. That didn't discourage him. I think he realizes the possibility, the potential, and just would really love to get a few healthy bodies back to make conference play that much more enjoyable.
Well, I think they're on the right track with this guy. I mean, he's a heck of a coach. All you got to do is watch about the first 15 minutes of his practices and see that he knows what's going on. And then you throw in the fact that Conway's a great community, and there's even talk of a new arena. You get all those three things going, and it'll turn around. It'll be really good.
Arkansas building on this strong first half, as both of these teams will not go too terribly deep on their bench.
If you're Arkansas, can you close the half? Do you get, you don't want to use the word bored, but do you lose your edge, lose your intensity? Again, these are things that have troubled Cal early on in the season. Want to play consistency and effort regardless of the score.
It's been such an odd first half for the Razorbacks over so many of their games. All 10 second halves, they've outscored their opponents. I know even against UTSA, it looked like a struggle. Things did not fall, and there's Carter Knox with the knockdown. It does show me, though, when they go into that halftime locker room, they can make some adjustments and they can get ready to play. But obviously, Coach Cal wants more of a 40-minute effort.
Absolutely. He's really interested on the defensive effort because that's the thing. Coming into Arkansas, he really wanted to change how his teams the last 2 or 3 years in Kentucky performed defensively. It's been a point of emphasis for Arkansas.
It does feel like it's been coming, maybe slow, but a little bit incremental in the process. Cato gets open for a three, and that's the second time in the game Arkansas has fouled a three-point shooter. I guess when you're concentrating on closing out on three-point shooters, you might foul one or two.
There's an old saying, you want to contest high, not long. And that time Knox contested long, and his arm went right into the arm of Cato. You want to contest high, as you'll see on the closeout here. Go up, not long. High jump, don't long jump.
There were times last week in practice where Arkansas was really working on closing out, with the thought being if somebody pump fakes and drives to the rim, bring it on against Arkansas's length. And yet it feels like UCA yesterday, Joe, they were doing exactly the opposite in their preparation. They want to keep everybody back.
You had with Arkansas, you've got hot closeouts. That means they want to run you off the three-point line. They want to make you drive, as you stated, to go into the length. Conway on the UCA, on the other hand, wanting to keep Arkansas in front of them, make them shoot, and try to secure the rebound.
Arkansas shooting 67%. Adu! Hey, he's moving better, Joe.
Boy, he's looking better and better, but I mean, I like the vision and the pass. What a pass and catch. Wagner with the vision, but that is a hard rolling to the rim and catching that and finishing it. Nice play by Adu.
You know, it's a great sign for Arkansas to let Wagner run the point when Boogie Flan is on the bench. He doesn't have to play maybe 35 minutes and you don't lose a lot. And that is going to be a traveling violation on the Bears. No foul. Let's watch this again, this pass and this finish from Wagner to Adu.
Well, this is good vision, a little bounce pass in traffic, and the catch was very good and the finish was good. This doesn't look like a really hard thing to do, but at 6'10", 6'9", rolling out of a screen and trying to find that ball when it's coming hot to you off the floor, that was a great catch.
Adu played 26 minutes against Michigan, went for 11 and 7. And there were some times this year when he was playing, he did not look healthy. And Wagner's pass goes out of bounds. And I think Cal got to the point where he said, listen, we're going to have to figure this out on the floor. You're just going to have to get into game speed during real games and not necessarily practices, because that clock is ticking towards conference play.
There's no doubt. And seeing him playing and playing well against Michigan, and then today it's huge for the Razorbacks.
How about Cato on the flush from Taylor? Nice backdoor cut.
Caught Arkansas ball watching, kind of looking for that handoff. He gives a little step and goes hard to the baseline for the easy jam.
Cato with the 11. Janelle Davis has hit a couple of threes. There's a miss, and the rebound to Satius. Fabimi, he was followed the entire time by the 6'11" Jonas Adu. Fabimi, 6 foot.
And then Adu hands him off to Brazil. He's 6'10".
Ben Fox on the cut, couldn't flush, but he was fouled. Boy, they are trying. They're moving, they're cutting, they're passing.
Well, they're trying to get in there, and they're trying to dribble, penetrate, drive down the baseline. Sometimes they just dribble all the way through the lane, and what they want to do is they want to get the Razorbacks turning their head and watching the ball, and then the guys on the perimeter are doing a good job of relocating for the shot or back cutting and getting good looks at the rim.
Ben Fox, the Little Rock native, makes the free throw, 4 points. How similar is what they're trying to do to maybe Princeton at times?
It is. I mean, they're trying to backdoor cut you. They're going to do a lot of handoffs, a lot of stuff on the perimeter, and then all of a sudden that guy's going to take a step for that handoff. You're going to try to deny it, and he's gone to the back door.
Couple of makes for Ben Fox.
The Princeton offense is a great offense to run against teams that can pressure them. They can really get up on the ball.
Use their aggressiveness against them?
Use it against them, exactly.
And this is an Arkansas team. They love to force turnovers, jump in the passing lanes, run the other end and hammer one down. I think that would be interesting. Adu again draws the double. Shot clock hasn't been much of a factor. Davis just lost it. Bears trying to run. And a bit of a bailout there. Vagaru was spitting in the lane with no place to go, but he drew the foul. And a coaching moment for John Schulman on the bench.
It's one that saying he was shooting the ball. Nice try, coach.
He was doing something with the basketball, probably wouldn't shoot it. Lane Taylor really working hard. Nice pass into the corner, open three. McCormick got knocked down, no whistle. Arkansas's cooled off just a bit. Richmond on the drive. Extra pass. Boy, good ball movement by the Razorbacks. And the Bears doing a lot of chasing. There's the catch by Adu and a flush.
You gotta love that, Brett. The ball movement, making the defense shift and shift and shift. Then you drive it, and somebody's going to get lost in the shuffle. Adu with the slam.
That was almost a clinic on just moving the basketball to find that open man. 10 points for Jonas Adu. McCormick, how about that? Rather than a contested shot at the rim, Bears will try the three and a miss from Cato. We need a timeout. Let's step aside. 3 minutes and change to go in this first half. Arkansas trying to get a little bit of separation. A 17-point lead over the Bears from North Little Rock.
Well, Brad, if you want to see how you draw up basketball, you want to see a coach smile, watch a little of this here. 1, 2. Got 2 dribbles on the baseline. 3, 4, 5, 6. One more dribble. 7, 8, 9. 2 dribbles and a lob dunk. You got 10 passes and 5 dribbles. That's how you draw it up. And there's not a lot of any defense can do when you can move the ball and make that ball hot like it was in that possession. Beautiful possession by the Razors.
I can't tell you the last time I saw possession with 5 dribbles, 10 passes. And if you're UCA, you're exhausted because you're chasing the ball around the perimeter, and they still get a dunk.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so hard defensively when that ball is moving side to side and you're shifting and guys are cutting and you're trying to find things. It goes into the post, and your job is to double team. Then ball comes out of the post, and you're chasing it again. It's a nightmare.
It almost felt like Arkansas was playing 5-on-4 in that sequence. You get to see some of the sights and sounds here at Simmons Bank Arena. Jam-packed crowd. If there's 16,000 people here today, Joe Klein is shaking hands with at least 4,000 of the 16,000. Maybe a few pictures mixed in, a few handshakes.
Love this game every year. The fans here in Central Arkansas just are so appreciative of the Razorbacks coming down here, and they show up and show out.
I know the Bears were excited too. Listen, this is different than playing at home or in the A-Sun. They were thrilled for the opportunity, as stiff as it may be. They like a strong finish here in the remaining 3 minutes in this first half. So with the Razorbacks. Hard to believe Thero has not scored, and Arkansas's put in 40. And there's Wagner with a corner 3. Carter Knox will follow it in. So Knox getting a few more minutes, Joe, and he's put in 8 points.
I think this is important for Richmond and Knox to get out here and get a little more playing time, gain some confidence as we enter into the end of the year and looking right down the pike at some big-time conference foes.
Nifty drive by a Vagaru, but he can't finish. Arkansas back to this ball movement again. Ball moves faster than the dribble, doesn't it? Or at least
Absolutely.
The pass.
Yeah, and the bigs are doing a nice job in there sealing their guys because they're really trying to trap them, and they're getting the ball out of their hands. And again, what it leads to is wide open shots for shooters.
And Boogie Flan with a dozen. Every coach we talk to just kind of gushes about playing against Boogie Flan. They know he's a future pro, and much sooner than later. I thought Austin Claunch at UTSA maybe had the best thought process. He said the kid plays with a spirit. There's a boost, there's a burst, and I think all of that makes perfect sense. A spirit, a boost, and a burst from Boogie.
Yeah, I mean, again, you sit there and you go, this kid was playing high school ball last year. And we touched on it earlier that he's come into a prominent program with a big-time coach and other big-time players. He's kind of become the lead dog.
And Arkansas is blocking everything. Shots at the rim, three-point goals, only 5 to shoot. Bears need to get the ball in. Taylor would love to hoist. He will. He'll hit. And Coach Schulman said Lane Taylor has always dreamed about playing in this game. In his dreams, he was wearing white and not purple. But, you know, he's thrilled to play in this game, too.
Yeah, he's an Arkansas kid. Grew up right outside of Fayetteville. And his college career is not college, high school career is probably as documented and rewarding as you'll see in the country. The things that he did in high school throughout 4 years. Just a coach's son, a gym rat, and he's getting to play in front of 16,000 people here in Little Rock against a team that he grew up idolizing. He's doing a nice job.
And if you want to know what's new with the Razorbacks, well, everything is new. And it starts with Coach Cal and his assistant coaches. 7 transfers, 6 freshmen. A few of those, like Flan, were going to Kentucky. They changed routes within the conference to Arkansas. I think things have settled in a bit as we bend towards conference play, but I know there's a few people here in Central Arkansas that have not seen Arkansas in person, so it's their first chance to see Coach Cal wearing the Razorback red.
Well, they love the Razorbacks in this state, and the more that I think Cal is embraced by what he did with his scrimmages in the offseason, going to Hot Springs and Pine Bluff and other areas, and then coming down here, I think it's really, energized the fan base.
No doubt.
It's always a good fan base, but I think he's energized it even more so.
Another crisp sequence of ball movement. Another score from Boogie Fland.
He is so good at that. I mean, that's where you see pro in him, where it's boom, boom, up with the shot. I mean, there's no hesitation. He doesn't over-penetrate and get himself in trouble. He reads it, and then he can knock down that little 8-9 footer.
Your term mature, I think, just continues to kind of ring through my mind, and that's an important basket from Faye Bimmy, his first points of the game, averaging 12 a contest. But you're turning this offense over to a kid that started the year at 17 years old, just turned 18 a couple of weeks into the games.
And I think that's a credit to Cal and the coaching staff. They've installed a lot of confidence in him by how they've coached him.
Shot clock shut off. Final possession maybe for the Bears. Faye Bimmy. Arkansas with the switch. Taylor, no place to go. Wild shot from the corner is short. And Joe, Arkansas put up 46 points in that first half.
Yeah, you got to like the defensive effort, and you really got to be impressed with how they kept everything going with their energy defensively, holding them to 28 points, and the ball movement and the sharing of the ball offensively has been really good for the Razorbacks.
Halftime here at Simmons Bank Arena in North Little Rock. Hawks got off to a hot start, finish off the first half with a 46-28 lead. We'll step aside and come back with more from North Little Rock after this. Take a look at the stats at the half. Arkansas shooting the basketball extremely well, 68%. Joe, how about the points in the paint, though? 24 for the Hawks.
Yeah, they're getting pretty much anything they want offensively, and a lot of that's coming off the break situations. So UCA having a tough job shooting the ball in the first half. Arkansas getting the rebound, pushing it up the floor, being able to get the ball at the rim and finish.
Keep in mind, we did not see Adu Thero in the entire first half. To me, that means we won't see him in this game. Still trying to come back from the flu, from a sickness. So Arkansas has always been a little bit shorthanded, it feels like, in every game they play.
Yeah. It was nice to see 9 guys play Tuesday night. You were hoping to see that again tonight, but you don't want to risk anything with him. He's a big-time part of what you're trying to do in the future. In Arkansas, it's given Billy Richmond, Knox, Brazil, some guys, some extra minutes that could turn into a confidence builder going into conference play. Because
Richmond played only 60 seconds Tuesday night, so I asked one of the Arkansas personnel, and I won't say who, were these guys roommates? And he looked at me and he said, they are now. Misery loves company, so does sickness. Second half off and rolling. Nellie Davis trying to continue this three-point stroke that has looked so much better in the last 6 games than the first 5.
UCA coming out in a little bit of a zone. It's well documented that Arkansas has had its struggles against the zone earlier in this year. It's good to see that shot go down for Davis.
3 try won't go. Adu just tips the rebound to himself. That's a bullet pass to Brazil. Could not catch it in stride. He's pointing up saying throw it up near the rim or above.
Yeah, you're not going to throw a bad pass more times than not when you throw it up to Brazil.
No matter how high you throw it, he's probably going to catch it.
He can go fetch it.
Cato provided most of the offense for UCA in the first half. He's working against Trevin Brazil. Backing his way in. Tough spin. He drew the foul. We had only 8 combined fouls in that first half.
I don't know where the foul was there. I mean, there was a lot of contact the whole time, and it was like, I guess, after the 4th chest bump by Brazil, that's when they wanted to call it. They didn't want to call the 1st, 2nd, or the 3rd one, but they decided to do the 4th one.
Gary Shannon extended that elbow, talking to the bench as if maybe he was using that arm bar, but you're right, that was a lot of contact. And Cato is back to that free throw line where he's been busy. Now 6 of 7 from the stripe. One of a handful of returners on this UCA team that won 9 games a year ago, went through the coaching change, and may take a year or two to kind of get healthy, get their personnel, but John Schulman is a winner, and he is up for the challenge and the task of rebuilding this UCA program.
Can UCA settle in and get off to a strong start, cut into this lead? And if you're the Razorbacks, can they extend the lead and not get bored playing with a 19-point lead?
Wagner probing, spinning, shooting, and missing. Brazil got his hand on it, out of bounds to UCA. Joe, when you talk about the progression of a team, when it comes to being able to play for 35 good minutes or get to 40, does that take a month when you have new personnel, new coaches?
Oh, there's no doubt, because you have different roles, you have different rotations, you have different lineups, and you learn to play differently with different people. And some guys defensively don't need as much help when they're guarding the ball. Some guys do. Some guys aren't good at helping. Some guys are. So you got to kind of, it's really very helpful for Cal, as you've heard him talk about. We got to get everybody back and get everybody practicing, because it also helps them figure out, hey, what do we want to do? Who do we want to play with each other? What's a good lineup here? What's a good lineup there? What can we do offensively? What can we do defensively?
You know, it makes perfect sense. Faye Bemi with a step-back 3, and he will knock it in. Averages about 12 a game. That's 5 here this afternoon. And Cal told his team at practice maybe a week or so ago, he said in a month or 2 months, we're going to look back and think, why were we this bad in November and December? Kind of anticipating this team continuing to get better. Brazil to catch and a flush.
Boy, you better know where he is when he's lurking on that back line, because that play is always has a chance to happen.
And he altered that shot from Cato. Yeah, he's always about 2 seconds away from a highlight, is Trevin Brazil. He catches the errant pass, misses the finger roll. And he heard me. Instead of a flush, he got a little bit crafty around the rim and he'll go to the line.
Adu's really disappointed that he missed the shot. It took away Adu's assist off the rim. But again, you better know what number 4 is, because he's lurking there on that back line, and you've got to have your head on a swivel constantly looking for him, because they'll do that play every time if you don't find out where he is. Get a body on him.
Free throws have been a little bit of an adventure early, but, you know, even Cal the other day said about Brazil, he's blocking, he's defending, he's rebounding, and I think he's got more offense than he has shown. Well, he had the 15 points against Michigan, and Arkansas needed every single one of those. But, again, when you're playing maybe 7 men in your rotation or whatnot, everybody needs to score a little, and that's 9 today for Brazil.
If Brazil's going to take his game to the next level, and if he's going to help this team reach their potential, he's got to be an inside-out player. He's got to do the things that we've seen today and what we saw versus Michigan. Rebound, defend, run the floor. If you get a 3 and you've been doing those things, shoot it. You got good touch.
I've got a thought on Brazil. I'm going to wait till after the sequence is over. It might kind of blow your mind, even though you've lived through it. As Richmond rebounds, he's never played in an NCAA tournament. Didn't play there at Missouri. Came to Arkansas. Was hurt when they got to the tournament. They didn't go last year. He's never played in an NCAA tournament.
That's got to eat at it.
You got to be anxious for that chance whenever it comes in March.
That's the best. Like everybody says, right now it's the most wonderful time of the year. No, Brett. It's March is the most wonderful time of the year.
There's no doubt. It's the madness that we can't wait for as DJ Wagner knocks down the 3. And that's, again, where Arkansas, their progress, their progression. And Taylor with a nice drive and a basket. That's 10 for Lane Taylor. It's not been on an elevator straight up, but it's been incremental. And I think you're seeing this team get better and better. The Michigan win was a big part of it as Adu gets fouled. That was the first ranked win that Coach Cal had at Arkansas.
And the thing that we're so lucky to have, and Arkansas is so lucky to have, is you got a coach who's been there. There's no panic. There's no, oh my gosh, what are we doing? He's like, hey, we're just going to keep working. It's like after they beat Miami of Florida, he said, hey, we were able to finish the game and everything's great. If we wouldn't have won the game, we'd have got back to work and we'd have kept, progressing and getting better. So, I mean, I think that attitude and that communication with the team helps calm the team down. He still wants them to play hard, still pushing them, still trying to make them uncomfortable, demanding this, demanding that, but there's no panic.
Look what he has done in his first seasons at UMass and Memphis and Kentucky. Question mark there on Arkansas. He's trying to go to 9-2 with the win this afternoon as Adu splits a pair. And it's always kind of a funny time, too, Joe. You just finished off finals, holidays coming up, conference play coming up. There's a lot in the next 3 weeks.
Thinking about going home, getting a few days to go home and see the family and get back. And
DJ Wagner, how about him switching hands to go with the left hand from the right side?
A little speed right there, boy.
It's acceleration. Sam Pittman might want to put him on the gridiron and throw the long ball to him.
Sam, you keep away from our basketball players.
Well said. That three nearly brought rain from Fox and is out of bounds to Arkansas. He found a different gear, though, to cover those last 25 feet.
He caught that thing and put it in turbo.
Timeout. Here it is. How about one dribble from about 25 feet? DJ Wagner, some acceleration for a celebration. The Razorbacks up big. Coach Cal has always been known for bringing in some tremendous impact freshmen. And just because he switched from blue to red, Joe, it has not changed.
Yeah, he's been doing this for a long time. He did it at UMass, he did it at Memphis, obviously at Kentucky, and now he's continued it here at Arkansas. And that's one thing that when you bring Cal in, the talent level of your team is going to go up regardless of where he goes.
It's amazing. I know there's kids across the country. Obviously, they like Bud Walton Arena. Or they might like the fan base or being in the SEC. But that brand of playing for Coach Cal, with what he's done, getting kids to the next level and to the NBA, that transcends conferences, borders, anything.
Well, I mean, every kid out here playing today thinks they're going to the NBA. And everybody's kid everywhere's dream is to go to the NBA. And he does a great job of selling it, and he also delivers it for a lot of guys. And when you can sit down in a living room and go, here's my list of players, not many people can do that.
No, and he knows the numbers. He knows the amount of money that they have generated in their career, and there's a few commas in that dollar figures.
Yeah, I'd like to have a couple of those commas.
Just a comma.
Trying to get him to see if I can come back.
Hey, I think about anything goes in the NCAA. You might have a year.
Yeah. I could get an 8th year or a 28th year.
Your NIL might be more than what you were making in your early years in the NBA.
Right.
Arkansas still shooting 67% for the game. Big Z has been a little bit quiet, dealing with that ankle, trying to get back healthy.
Really would like to see him come in and play with composure and play with toughness, take care of the ball, and make some good plays.
Boogie with the pull-up. Rebound tracked down by Taylor. First time again that Arkansas has ever played an in-state team here in Little Rock. Hogs haven't enjoyed maybe as much success here as you might think. 14-10 in this arena. It's not a good arena to shoot in, but you wouldn't know that today for Arkansas. How about the pass to Richmond? The catch, the miss, and Arkansas couldn't cap the highlight with a punctuation mark. The pass was better than the finish.
Yeah, and the hustle was outstanding. You love seeing guys get out on the floor and then look ahead.
Cato, again, maybe put a little bit too much air on that shot. Let's go back and look at this scrapping, hustling effort for the Razorbacks, even though it didn't result in points.
Again, you got the ball awareness, the active hands, and then the vision. I guess it's vision.
That's another near assist that was blown.
It's vision if he has eyes in the back of his head. But it was a great play and a good basketball play, knowing where somebody's in front of you. Get the ball ahead.
Billy Richmond, you got to finish that one. Big Z going to work. Can't finish. And there's Richmond to follow it in. First point for Billy.
Watching Big Z right there, he's got to play lower to the ground. He's too upright so that when guys bump him, it gets him off balance a little bit. He's got to get a little more bend in his legs and be able to deliver blows when he has the ball, trying to make those little crab dribbles to get into his offensive move.
You know, Joe, that makes sense because, again, when he spaces out, spreads out, and there's a knockdown from Lane Taylor who scored 13 points, it just makes it harder for those not as tall to contend with him.
Right, and when you watch Adu play, he gets into bodies. He hunts a body. He hunts for physicality. He wants the hit, and that's what Z has to do. Z has to start delivering instead of taking it.
Couple of baskets for Billy Richmond as Arkansas extends the lead. 7 minutes into the second half from Simmons Bank Arena. And I would say he took a little bit of that, the blow from A. Vagaru, the Siena College transfer. When the Bears get back to the A-Sun or get into league play, they will not see 7-2, 6-11, 6-10 coming at them.
No, this is going to benefit them. Just playing in front of this crowd and this atmosphere, getting this kind of feel for a big-time game, and then playing against the competition that they're playing against. They're going to win some battles in this game. They're not going to win the game, but they're going to gain confidence, and they're going to say, hey, I can shoot over a 7'2" guy, or I can do this or that against a McDonald's All-American. It's going to do nothing but bolster their confidence moving forward.
Carter Knox will reach double figures where he will join Boogie Fland and company.
Really stepped up today, Knox has, in the absence of Thero. Doing a nice job.
And again, no Thero the entire game, still dealing with the illness. When I saw him come into the building last night wearing the mask, trying not to breathe on anybody, I didn't think that was a good sign. DJ Wagner with the scoop off the glass.
That's why nothing gets by you, Brett. The guy comes in wearing a mask. You're on top of it.
I felt like it was 2020 all over again. But timeout on the floor. DJ Wagner and Billy Richmond and the Razorbacks getting a little bit of separation over the Bears. It's been a red-hot shooting display for the Razorbacks here this afternoon. We were just happy the lights came on after the pregame introductions after last year when there was about a 20-minute delay. But everything has worked today, including Arkansas's offense.
Yeah, they're really playing at a high level, getting a lot of points in the paint. They've got 36 points in the paint compared to 10 to UCA. They're taking big-time advantage of their speed, athleticism, and length, and it's really causing a problem for UCA offensively and defensively. You look over at Coach Schulman, and they're shooting 5 out of 21 from the three-point line. And for them to have had any chance in this game, that percentage had to be extraordinary, and they're just struggling to shoot the ball, and there's not a lot of answers against this team from the SEC.
They get a couple of top freshmen, Ty Robinson out of Hot Springs. Jabari West, a sophomore, another Hot Springs kid. They're dealing with some injuries, and maybe they can get a few of these young men back. Robinson dealing with some rhabdo, some unique fitness injury, and I think West has a splint on his hand. So this is not the optimum level they wanted to be at coming into this game. And as Coach Schulman said, it looks great when you think about playing Arkansas, and then you get to the week of and maybe not so much.
Well, and it's not, as he said to us yesterday, it's not the team that in June he thought would be out here playing against Arkansas. So, but that's basketball, and you got to deal with injuries. But unfortunately, he's not getting to really see what he's got.
No doubt. Another timeout. The under 12 media will break from Simmons Bank Arena in North Little Rock. Tell you what, in today's college sports, you can't go a day without talking about the portal, but you love it when it works in your favor. And I think the one thing, Joe, as you look at this list, even though Arkansas brought in these impactful transfers, Wagner and Big Z came with the coaching staff, and Adu played in the league, so there was a lot of familiarity.
Absolutely. You're not walking into something you're unfamiliar with. You're going to be a lot more comfortable, and then you can establish leadership a lot sooner with familiarity, and I think that's going to start to show here towards the end of the year and into the conference season.
See Janelle Davis. Nelly has 3 threes and 9 points. I'm wondering, we talk about the progression. If the last thing to come for Nelly is that understanding when to defer and when to go, because he had to be the man at FAU. He has more weapons here on the floor, but there seems like there's some minutes where we lose him, and I'm wondering if that comes at some point soon.
Well, he was a primary ball handler at FAU, there's no doubt, and he's had to adjust to a different role, but I think he's done it very well. I would like to see him be a little more aggressive, kind of as DJ is. DJ's not the point guard, but when DJ gets the ball a lot of times, he'll force the action, and I think Nelly is still kind of in that trying to fit in a little bit and figure it out, and I think that's just going to get better and better as the year goes on.
He's set to check in after that Razorback turnover. You know, sometimes you might be tuning in and saying, well, Arkansas has got this under control with the 11.5 to play. I guarantee you the coaching staff over there, they're using every bit of these 11 minutes to continue to push and evaluate. As that ball's taken away in that process of playing a full 40 or as many of those minutes with a solid contribution as they can get.
Trying to get a culture. We're going to play the right way. We're going to do certain things regardless of the score.
Big Z with a long 3. And Arkansas can't rebound the miss.
He was anxious for that one. He hadn't had one in a while, and that was going up.
He was going to take it no matter where he was on the floor. DJ Wagner again. Long 3, but a knockdown, and DJ scored 13 this afternoon.
Boy, when he can step into it in rhythm, he has a great-looking shot.
He's 3 of 4 from distance. Cato passes on the 3. Nice drive and a basket at the rim.
Now that's something Z's got to work at, is closeout. And again, not a prolific three-point shooter. Don't don't get leaning forward so he can get by you. Stay in front of him. Even if he pulls up, you're 7'2".
Officials are conferring. There was a quick foul. Team foul number 4 on the Bears. Jonas Adu also in for Arkansas, along with Nelly Davis. Tell you what, your rotations are not as deep when you're missing a player and you don't play that many to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to sit down over there and don't get comfortable because you're going back in. But you know what? If you're a player, you love that.
No doubt. Adu with the spinning maneuver, and that's almost unstoppable when he can catch it cleanly.
Man, I love that. The defensive's on that left shoulder, taking away that right-hand hook, his dominant hand, and he just spun baseline. That looked really, really nice.
Arkansas enjoying its largest lead of the game. Tim with the catch. Had a height advantage over Davis, passes out for the 3, and another shooter fouled on a 3, and Ben Fox will go to the line.
Again, man, you gotta close out. You gotta be under control. You gotta be able to stop and high jump. When you're running at a shooter, when you're running at a guy, and you gotta be able to stop and go up. If you lunge at him or if you jump at him, you gotta go past him on the left shoulder or the right shoulder, but you can't go right at him and long jump. You're going to foul him every single time.
I think Coach Cal was having that exact same message to anyone who would listen on the bench. If things travel in 3s, it's the 3rd time UCA has been fouled on a 3.
again, Cal is using this. You would sit there and say, well, they're not shooting the ball as good. Why does Cal have them running and trying to get them off the three? Well, Cal knows what's coming down the pipe.
No doubt.
If you close out short in the SEC.
And in the games Arkansas lost, Illinois and Baylor, that's where they really struggled to defend that three-pointer. And listen, those are good teams.
Yeah. And again, you've got it. Where's your strength, especially if you get AD back and you have Big Z and you have Brazil on that back line. Run them into those shot blockers. See if they can make a shot over a 7-footer or a guy with length or a guy that can jump.
Another nifty pass and a lay-in from Cole McCormick.
Nice job by UCA. Again, using a little bit of that Princeton action, a little back door, using that pressure against the Razorbacks.
Nelly passed on the three, steps back and will not knock it in. Smallest man on the floor, Lane Taylor with the rebound for the Bears. Taylor's been fun to watch today, 13 points. A late scholarship offer from Oklahoma State, originally going to North Texas, so that's a find for UCA. What has been fun to watch, though, today has been the passing and how that has helped lead to some hoops.
Yeah, again, you turn your back. You don't know where the ball is. You don't know where your defender is. You lose sight, and just a good recognition by UCA, by the ball handler and the cutter, to read it and get open.
Cole McCormick, again, he signed at Division II Alabama Huntsville. Then came with coach, and he just shot that three. So there may have been some time he didn't think he'd be playing against the likes of the Razorbacks in front of 16,000.
But I think what you see with UCA is, again, they're not getting the finish on the shots, but they're getting good looks. You can see that this is a very well-coached team. Their spacing is impeccable. Their sharing of the ball is really good. They're just up against a really, really good opponent today, and they're shorthanded.
And they do fouled by Cole McCormick, the 6'6 freshman. That's probably not a foul that'll thrill the Bears, contesting an inbounds pass about 20 feet from the hoop. UCA lost to Little Rock by 6, also played UAPB, a little higher scoring game, but also fell by 6.
Well, they were in the Georgia Tech game late.
They were.
As Coach pointed out to us yesterday, there were 5 games in the second half where they were single digits late in the second half. That has to be encouraging.
Yep. Winnable games that they didn't finish as Davis reaches double figures. That Georgia Tech game, there may not have been 1,000 people in that building. It's a different feel here today in North Little Rock. McCormick passes to Fox, open look. Davis fouled him. Another 3 free throw opportunity upcoming for the Bears.
We were talking about Thero having the flu and wearing a mask. There's a little bit of an epidemic going on the closeout on the 3. We got to get a mask on that and get that under control.
Welcome back to Simmons Bank Arena in North Little Rock. It's been a comfortable lead for Arkansas, and they've received good contributions all the way around, I think, for the Hawks. After seeing DJ Wagner with a strong offensive game against Michigan, they've enjoyed seeing it again today.
Well, yeah, you love his aggressiveness, but he's also under control. Gets the puppy set there for the nice rhythm 3, but then he can be explosive to the rim, can shoot the floater. But again, you love it when he can step into a shot and he can shoot it like that, because with his athleticism, his ability to take people off the bounce, he starts making that shot, people start running at him, he's going to be in the paint all day long.
Before the season, Cal said, I want his swagger back. He had an ankle injury last year. When your ankle hurts, it affects your lift. It affects your jump shot. And then you're playing through pain. That's not fun. But you saw that smile. That swagger's coming back.
Absolutely. And again, kudos to Coach Cal and the staff. They are, every time you're in practice, he is constantly harping at Wagner to be aggressive, to shoot the ball, and just filling him full of confidence over and over again. And it's starting to pay dividends.
Ben Fox shooting 3. Saw that smile with Tyler Eulis on the bench. I would say the pump fake three and absorbing some contact from Arkansas has been a good offensive weapon for the Bears.
Yeah, I think that might be put into the playbook by Coach Schulman with UCA. What are we running, Coach? Well, this time, just throw it to the three and ball fake. And we'll shoot free throws.
Put some shoulder pads on, take your hit.
And I can promise you, in the Arkansas film session, the tone's going to be a little bit different.
I would imagine so. There's the alley. Adu with the catch, but he'll pass out for Carter Knox to come down the baseline and flush.
Boy, he is such a good kid, and he works hard. And, again, as a freshman, you don't get sometimes to play and get to feel a part of it as much as you'd like. And it's such a joy to see him out here having fun and really contributing and playing well.
That's another big body, a little bit like Thero. I mean, he could be a tight end. He could be a defensive end.
If he can keep his, and he will because he comes from a great family, but if he can keep his work ethic and keep his confidence and keep the faith, his day is coming.
Well, his eyes got big right there. When you can pass up a shot 2 feet away from the basket for a shot that's in the basket with the flush, that worked.
That's a high percentage play.
Arkansas has dropped to 63%, but they've been above 60 almost the entire game. And usually you come to Little Rock and you're talking about how the team can't shoot. It just feels different for a pseudo home game.
Very spacious. The end zones are very far away, so you don't have that backdrop behind the glass that you usually see. It feels kind of, how do you say, cavernous?
It does. It feels a little bit like some of the NCAA tournament games where maybe you're playing in different venues. There's a discussion on whose ball it is, and it'll stay UCA. I did hear on the radio yesterday they called this the loudest neutral court environment in college basketball. I like that.
Well, it's loud, and you and I can attest to that because we've been trying to hear each other talk this whole game.
From 6 inches away sometimes. But it's great for Arkansas to see their fans here in the central portion of the state. It's become a holiday tradition. It'll stay UCA ball. Right now, they're using the arenas back in Fayetteville for graduation. So the students are gone. The arenas aren't available. What a great week to come here.
Right, and it gives so many people from southern Arkansas, from eastern Arkansas, from maybe northeast Arkansas who are Razorback fans. The trip here is so much easier for your kids, for your family to be able to come to Little Rock and experience this.
I'm just happy we could save you the trip because you're pretty used to that trip up and back. This is a little bit more convenient.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to expense my mileage from the house to the arena today.
And you can see the fans.
I'm happy about it.
Yeah, I bet you are. Fans still packed. Glad to have you with us here for this last broadcast on SEC Plus. And Arkansas has had the comfortable lead. Boogie Flam was a big part of the beginning, the burst for the Razorbacks. Misses that three. Arkansas with a handful of players in double figures. In fact, 5 players in double figures, and Trevin Brazil needs 1 more point to make it a half dozen. A little more of an open look for Cato, but he still threw it off the side of the backboard. Now Brazil running the floor all the way to the rim, and that's 6 players in double figures for the Razorbacks.
Again, what we've seen here in the last couple games from Adu and Brazil, they're also big physical presence, but these guys can get up and down the floor.
They're moving.
Yeah.
And again, Trevin had that terrible ankle roll, but he bounced back. I swear he's Gumby at times. Adu getting into game shape. Now they got to get through that flu, and there's a make from Ben Fox and a timeout UCA. 13 for Ben Fox, the Little Rock kid. No doubt this is a thrill for him to be playing in this game.
Yeah, it's good. You love seeing, Lane and Ben come back because they've grown up Razorback fans, and they have a great affinity for the state of Arkansas. And to be able to come in here and play against them and play well and get to experience this environment, I'm so happy that Arkansas plays in-state opponents, both in all sports, because I just think it helps promote interest in all sports. And then I think the more interest you have from younger kids and everything, the more that's going to help your talent level in your state. And as your talent level in the state increases, the opportunity for those kids to end up at Arkansas or UCA or UAPB or Arkansas State, it elevates everybody.
No doubt.
And it's so much, even though this game is not a tight game, the interest is so much better than if it was another directional school or somewhere like that, to where I just think it just gives a little bit of a vibe and a little bit of an interest that you can only get by playing in state teams.
Hey, there's Steve East, the longtime SID at UCA. In fact, I think he does the work of 4 people. He is going to retire at the end of the school year. Say it ain't so, Steve. I know he'll be missed, and what a great ambassador for that athletic program.
He came up to me last night, and he looked at me. He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I was up in Fayetteville. We came up to Fayetteville when you were in college." And we were in Maxine's tap room, and I looked at him and I was kind of like, "Please be quiet, please be quiet."
Because you don't know what's coming next after that.
Yeah, I was like, but he looked at me and goes, "Yeah, we saw you in Maxine's tap room." And I looked at him and I said, "Yeah, that limited it to about 15,000 students."
It must have been a day that ended in a Y. Steve, you'll be missed. Enjoy retirement.
Good guy. They don't come any better than him.
They do not. That is a thankless job at times with the hours. Trevin Brazil did everything but hold on to the basketball and finish.
Love the energy that Arkansas is playing with on defense and in their transition defense. There's no let up. They're trying to get better, and they're playing hard. They're playing full speed.
And Joe, this is a team that hasn't even really practiced at all. They didn't do leading up to the opening game and whatnot, because you don't have 10 bodies really to scrimmage, so they've kind of had to work into this game shape in real time.
Practice is not overrated by any means.
Boogie Flam with the knockdown. And I got to tell you what, I need to talk about his jump shot. When he came in, they felt like he was a high arcing jump shot. He was leaving it short. They've worked with him with their Noah system to be a little straighter, hit that back iron, back rimming down, Brad, and that shot's looking really good.
That system, every time I go to practice, it blows me away.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it's just the technology that is available to these athletes these days is
real-time feedback when you're shooting.
Yeah.
And you could just see Boogie get better and better because he can handle, he can lead this team. He does so many things well. It's that ability to continue to make shots which separates him when it comes to draft time, whenever that may be.
Well, and it's one thing to have technology. It's another thing to use it. And he uses it.
Big Z with the miss. Brazil fighting for the rebound, and it's out of bounds with 3:53 to go. Arkansas has reached the 80-point plateau. Timeout. We'll come back for the final few minutes from North Little Rock right after this. Arkansas put 80 on the board against the Bears from UCA, and I would say it has been a balanced scoring effort. 6 different Razorbacks in double figures between Boogie with 16 and Trevin Brazil, who just had 11. Big Z has not scored, but I don't think he's quite 100%. And Billy Richmond, it's good just to have him healthy after playing 60 seconds the other day against Michigan, but that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, anytime you get 6 guys in double figures, that's good basketball. And that's sharing the basketball, and that's not only sharing the basketball, that's being where you're supposed to be so somebody can share you the ball and that you'll have a shot. So your spacing is good, your vision is good, but more importantly, you have the willingness to give up the ball and not force things and trust your teammates. Arkansas has had a lot of trust today with each other offensively today.
What's the next step you want to see this team make over the next 3 weeks as they trend towards the new year and conference play?
Well, I think we saw a little bit of it today. Now, again, it's against a lesser opponent, but you want to get rid of the lulls. I think that's what's been a problem in their losses and in their tight games. The 5-minute lull, the start of the game lull, the second half lull where they go 5, 6, 7 minutes and don't play sharp. Those are the things that you got to eliminate once you start playing better competition.
Makes perfect sense. Shot clock into single digits for one of the few times today. Taylor's going to have to go. Brazil there to contest. And you could almost see that one coming.
Yeah. That was doomed from the start.
Arkansas has had 8 blocks so far in the game.
Well, as you can see, they didn't really give help because Brazil did a decent job. But then you also have 6'11" and 7'2" coming at you, and the guys did a nice job in the corners of staying at home, so there was nowhere to go with the ball.
That didn't happen at Farmington High School last year.
No, I didn't see a lot of that.
Big Z needs to get some points, and he is fouled by the Bears. Arkansas not quite in the bonus just yet. Big Z told me before the game he's feeling better, moving better. I think a few more days without a game before next Saturday will help in that process.
I love him. I think he's going to be a great player, but I want him to start eating some nails.
Put some LBs on that frame.
I want to see a little LBs and a little nastiness. And it'll come. It comes at different times for everybody.
That was a nifty pass. Carter Knox has had a big day. Not that time. Missed the three. And I think for UCA, as Coach Schulman told us, it's about just kind of staying with the process even when the process isn't comfortable. This was not comfortable today, but I think you pointed out a few times, Joe, they will take aspects of this game that'll benefit them.
Absolutely. They've done some nice things. They're up against a superior opponent. They're playing shorthanded, but they're playing, and they're playing hard, and they're trying to execute. They're trying to do positive things, and those are things that you can build upon and you can get better at. You can put those things on film, and it'll install confidence. Coach can sit there and go, look, see, this works, and it worked against Arkansas. So if we do it, we got a chance.
And even Faye Bimmy, who controls the basketball, just hit a three. This kid was at Division III Johns Hopkins last year. I didn't know Johns Hopkins had a basketball team, but that's a big step up in competition. And he just got drilled, but he'll go to the line. You're talking about a memory. I don't think this kid will soon forget this chance to play in this venue in this game.
No, and I mean, again, hats off to UCA, Coach Schulman, for bringing him in here. Again, these are lifelong memories for a lot of these guys. I mean, they're not going to get to experience this many times in their career. Very few players get to. And again, they knew they were up against it, but they embraced it. And that's good coaching, and that's good culture. You see culture with things. It's like no excuses, no poor, pitiful me. We don't have this guy and this guy. They embraced it. They came in here last night and they practiced hard. And the coach had their attention. He was coaching them hard. And again, this is going to lead to good things down the road. I mean, again, you're playing in Conway, a great town. UCA, what a great campus. Beautiful, beautiful campus. Lots of students. And then now you have Coach Schulman there. Culture's changing. They're talking about a new arena. Things are looking good.
Coach Schulman, he's a competitor. He just stays up at night trying to figure out ways to compete and build this program. As Kareem Watkins also checks in for the Razorbacks.
He had a great quote. His wife was a very good basketball player, and he was kind of doing woe and woe is me about their shooting. And he kind of looked at me and said, my wife looked at me and goes, why don't you shoot more in practice?
Sometimes you got to see the forest through the trees, I guess. Carter Knox will go to the line.
And as a good husband, guess what he did?
Exactly what his wife suggested. Minute 23 to go. And for Coach Cal, this will be a yearly thing for him. He's coached in this building before, but it was when he brought his Memphis team in here in the NCAA tournament back in 2008. That was the year Derrick Rose was here. They played Texas Arlington, Scott Cross. So we saw Coach Troy, and his team went all the way to the title game that year.
Yeah, I remember that. I was my first year coaching at Arkansas Little Rock, and they came over and practiced in the arena, and Derrick Rose came in, and as Cal always was, he was a commanding presence, but just very grateful and very welcoming to everybody who came up to him. And man, boy, did they have a team.
Oh boy, did they ever. About a minute to go. Arkansas had 22 points in the first 6-7 minutes. There's another block, but following it in will be a Vagaru for his first score of the game. Billy Richmond didn't anticipate the alley-oop from Boogie Flag. Arkansas will bring on Melo Sanchez, the transfer out of Hawaii Pacific. Also Jaden Karuletwa, young man from California. A chance for them to get a few minutes or a minute here in this game. Arkansas came into this game having made the same number of threes that they had allowed, 80, but knocked down 9 today, and normally picking up quite a few dunks as well. Big Z threw the ball over the head of the 5'8" Kareem Watkins. There's been a few of those balls ending up in the seats.
Yeah, I mean, I think Z needed to adjust to Kareem's height.
He did.
He's been thrown to a little bit taller.
Evagaru going to work. 4 points for the Ontario native. Shot clock shut off. Arkansas can let the final few seconds tick away, and indeed that'll be the case. The two coaches will meet at midcourt. Coach Cowell, Coach Schulman. Long conversation. Better things ahead for this Bears program under Coach Schulman, and Coach Cowell about to take his Razorbacks to 9-2.
Yeah, good game for the Razorbacks. They came out and did what they were supposed to do, Brett. They played hard. They got it going up and down. They dominated the game at both ends of the floor. That's what they should do. If you're a UCA fan, don't worry. You're in good hands.
Arkansas shoots 60% from the field. They put 6 players in double figures, and they cruise to a win in front of this sellout crowd here in North Little Rock. Joe, hey, thanks for helping us out this year.
Man, it's my pleasure, Brett. I hope I get to do it more often. You're a pro, man. Good working with you.
We'll turn the Hogs over to the network boys. But again, for Joe Klein and our entire crew, I'm Brett Dolan, thanking you for tuning in. Once again, our final score, the Razorbacks take down UCA 82-57. So long, good afternoon from Simmons Bank Arena in North Little Rock. Good afternoon, everyone.